Now we are discussing about primary, secondary and tertiary sewage treatments. First of all, sewage treatment. Main objective of the sewage treatment is to kill pathogenic microorganisms, prevent anoxia. Anoxia is nothing but total loss of oxygen, raise the pH to alkaline side, increase photosynthetic rate, reduce organic content, etc. When these objectives are achieved by the way of treating the sewage, the conditions prevailing in a natural water reservoir are induced in sewage water and the latter can be reused. Here we are observing the syllabus paper. We are discussing about only primary, secondary and tertiary sewage treatment. In the primary and secondary sewage treatment, we observe the topics only: oxidation ponds, trickling filters, activated sludge process and septic tanks. Now we are focusing on those topics only. Next, coming to the sewage treatment process. Sewage treatment process are many and varied. We will discuss only those treatment processes which are generally applied in single dwelling unit situations and municipal situations. First one, single dwelling unit treatment process. We are observing the different types. One is the outdoor toilets. Indoor toilets are also known as, that is nothing but consisting of septic tanks. This is the outdoor toilets where plumbing installation cannot be undertaken for any reasons. The toilets or water closets may be constructed outdoor. The toilets and water closets are occasionally constructed outdoor. While this arrangement is undertaken, care should be taken to see the flies have no access to these and change the drainage for these joining water supplies are eliminated. In this outdoor toilet, we must take care among the flies to access microorganisms or to access these changes in the drainage system, or joining pipes leakages are eliminated. Next, second one, septic tanks. Your syllabus consisting of septic tanks. These are used for residential quarters. All the residential sewage is passed through suitable pipes leading to a tank located at a suitable place and made of metal or concrete. All of you observe that the toilets consisting of, lavatories consisting of septic tanks. The heavy particles of the sewage settle down and undergo anaerobic decomposition, where the gases and clear water are allowed to go out through perforated pipe ramified within the ground. The septic tank device should be so fitted that the sewage does not drain by any chance into water supply of the resident. The sludge in the tank may be periodically removed to prevent clogging of the pipes. Here we are observing the septic tank. This is the upper portion is nothing but the house. It consisting of inlet, house swirl line. This is connected to the septic tank. We are observing the sectional view of the septic tank, and then observe the outlet. This outlet is nothing but the distribution box, perforated pipes and absorbed field leads to the enters into the drainage system. The septic tank consisting of lower solid materials, upper layer is clear water molecule is entered into the outlet pipe. Next, coming to the imhoff tank. This is in fact a modification of septic tank that is generally used to treat large community sewage. We are observing the septic tank is used individual houses. Imhoff tanks are used for the large communities. It consisting of two chambers, one above the other. The top chamber receives sewage and the heavier particles settle into the lower chamber and slowly decompose under aerobic conditions. The gas liberated, that is mainly methane, can be drawn out through the passage and utilized as fuel. The sewage effluent is either let into the larger body of the water is subjected to anaerobic decomposition. The sludge is periodically removed, aerated and used as manure. Here we are observing the imhoff tank. Here upper portion consisting of one chamber, lower portion consisting of another chamber. Here we are observing the sludge coming outside, sludge pipe. Bottom of the chamber we are observing the particles. These are the densely particles are settled down, and digestion of this chamber and flow of chamber we are observing. Left side and right side we are upper portion we are observing the methane gas collection. Next, coming to the municipal treatment process. Here we are observing three different types of processes. One is primary, secondary and tertiary. Primary is nothing but the mechanical process, secondary is nothing but the biological process, and tertiary is nothing but the final process. We are focusing secondary, primary, secondary and tertiary. Secondary method is very important. Here we are observing why I am telling that is secondary processes. This is mainly related to the microorganisms. In this primary treatment or mechanical treatment, when a sludge arrives at the sewage treatment plant, it is first subjected to mechanical means, that is flowing, dilution and sedimentation, to remove its coarse solid materials. That is nothing but in this process we are using filters. Filters are used to grade the higher particles, smaller particles or very smaller particles like that. The sewage is passed through a series of filters of graded openings and then allowed to flow through sedimentation units or tanks, basins, etc. Coarse solid materials are concentrated in and collected from sedimentation units. These particulate materials are collectively called sludge. Following sedimentation, the sludge and liquid effluents are processed separately during the secondary treatment. Here we are observing the secondary or biological treatment. It is the microbiology related treatment. This is purely a biological treatment of mechanically treated sewage and concerns microbial activity which degrades organic substrates and oxidizable inorganic compounds. This treatment accomplishes two important phases, namely aerobic phase and anaerobic phase. In this, we are focusing in this syllabus, we are consisting of aerobic phase only. Aerobic phase consisting of aerobic digestion of sludge by various filters, that is nothing but the trickling filters, oxidation ponds, activated sludge process, and the anaerobic phase is represented by anaerobic digestion of sludge. Now coming to the aerobic phase of secondary treatment. Here we are observing the aerobic digestion in trickling filters, oxidation pond, and activated sludge process. Now coming to the trickling filters. Trickling filters consisting of generally 6 to 10 feet deep bed of crushed stones, gravel, slag, or similar materials. The sewage effluent is sprayed over the surface of the bed. The spraying saturates the effluent with oxygen. The bed surface becomes coated with aerobic microflora consisting of microalgae, microfungi, bacteria, and protozoa. As the effluent seeps over, the aerobic microorganisms degrade the organic matter. However, the treated effluent collects at the bottom of the tank is passed to sedimentation tank and like activated sludge process. The effluent follows tertiary treatment. Aerobic digestion of sewage organic matter in a trickling filter is a very slow process. Here we are observing the trickling filters. Right side is the observing the largest trickling filter. The cross section of the trickling filter, we are observing the bed. Okay, bed is consisting of filters, different types of filter supports. This is nothing but the filter support is nothing but the bed. It consisting of microorganisms. Then we are sprinkling the water, sewage water. This water sprinkled on the surface of the microbial bed leads to the digestion of the organic matters and release of the effluent free water is collected at the bottom level. Next one, oxidation ponds. Oxidation pond sewage treatment is recommended for small communities in rural areas where suitable and sufficient land is available. Oxidation ponds are also known as lagoons or stabilization ponds, are generally 2 to 5 feet deep shallow ponds designated to allow direct wind action and algal growth on the sewage effluent. Sewage effluent supplied from air and produced as a result of algal photosynthesis fulfills biochemical oxygen demand (BOD) of sewage effluent and thus helps in maintaining aerobic conditions in sewage effluent. In such condition, the aerobic microorganisms grow rapidly and digest organic matter. For example, Chlorella pyrenoidosa. Chlorella pyrenoidosa is a common algal representative grown in oxidation ponds. In this, we are observing the oxidation pond. Oxidation pond, also known as lagoon, large and shallow pond designed to treat wastewater through the interaction of sunlight, bacteria and algae. Temperature in our country is suitable for aerobic bacteria, as bacteria which can only survive in warm water. Here we are observing the anaerobic and aerobic digestion. Organic matter, bacteria, inorganic matter, algae and sunlight in presence of oxygen and carbon dioxide, wind action leads to the digestion of the particular particular organic matters present in the water sample. Here we are observing. Next we are discussing about the activated sludge process. In this process, the mechanically treated sewage effluent is pumped into a sedimentation or settling tanks, wherein sewage flocks and settle out. A portion of the sewage flock is returned to activate a new batch of mechanically treated sewage effluent, and the rest is pumped to activated sludge digester, where air is blown by several jets. Thus, in the presence of plentiful oxygen, oxidation of sewage effluent is brought about by aerobic microorganisms which break down organic matter to CO2 and water. Now the effluent is passed through a sedimentation tank. So about 90% of the organic matter of the effluent is digested via this process. The effluent still contains considerable amount of nitrate and phosphate. It is therefore not safe to discharge effluent at this stage in a large body of water, as both nitrate and phosphate can cause putrefaction. Now the effluent which looks clear at this stage is subjected to tertiary treatment for further purification. In this active sludge process, we are observing the waste. F side we are observing a waste water influent. This wastewater influent is entered into the biological aeration tank. In this biological aeration tank, we are observing the microorganisms in presence of oxygen. After the microbial degradation, this is entering into the secondary clarifier, that is nothing but the settling tank. In the right side, we are observing the effluent is collected outside. The excess amount of sludge is collected outside in the bottom. If the return activated sludge is returned into the waste influent and then entered into the biological aeration tank. Next, we are observing the anaerobic phase of secondary treatment. Anaerobic digestion of sludge. The sludge collected after primary treatment of sewage is subjected to anaerobic digestion in separate tank designed especially for the purpose. Since anaerobic condition prevails in this tank, the anaerobic microbes bring about the digestion to organic matter by degrading them to soluble substances and gaseous products. This gas mixture can be used for operating power for the sewage plant or as a fuel. Recently, Municipal Corporation of Delhi has started supplying this gas mixture to about 1 lakh people for cooking purposes. Here we are observing the anaerobic sludge digester. This anaerobic sludge digester is nothing but the gobar gas production digester. Here we are observing the sludge is placed in the bottom. Due to the microbial action, these gases are produced at the upper layer. Upper layer consisting of gas. This gas is collected through the outlet. The excess amount of sludge is collected through the right side outlet or inlets, bottom outlet. Next we are discussing of the final treatment is nothing but the tertiary treatment. Since the sewage effluent treatment during the secondary treatment process still contain non-degradable organic pollutants and mineral nutrients, particularly nitrogen and phosphorus salts, it is subjected to tertiary treatment for their removal. If not so, the sewage effluents containing nitrogen and phosphorus salts can cause serious eutrophication in aquatic ecosystem. Eutrophication is nothing but the excess growth of algae due to presence of excess nutrients in the particular water body. So that to minimize the eutrophication, we are using the tertiary treatment. In this, non-biodegradable organic pollutants are normally removed by using activated carbon filters, whereas phosphorus and nitrogen salts by chemical treatment. Phosphorus salts are precipitated by liming, and the nitrogen present mainly as ammonia is removed by volatilization at a high pH. These treatments results in high quality effluent which does not cause eutrophication. The final step of tertiary treatment is disinfection, which is commonly accomplished by chlorination using either sodium or calcium hypochlorite respectively or chlorine. Now the effluent is a clear water and is considered microbiologically safe even for human consumption. Here we are observing the three parts. One is A, B and C. A belongs to the primary treatment, B belongs to the secondary treatment, C belongs to the tertiary treatment. Here observing the A, sewage water, it comes into grit chamber, is consisting of different filters and then entered into the sedimentation tank. This is nothing but the primary treatment. Then it is entered into the secondary treatment. We are observing the oxidation pond, activated sludge and trickling filters. Here we are observing the sludge is in the solid form by the anaerobic digestion of the sludge in the aerobic digestion tanks. Then this is left side, then it is entered into the sedimentation tank. In this process, anaerobic microorganisms break down organic matter into soluble substances and gas is produced, gas mixture. The gas mixture may be used to operate sewage plants to use as fuel. In the right side we are observing the sewage effluent liquid. In the left side we are observing the solid materials or anaerobic digestion. In the right side we are observing the liquid materials. Liquid effluent is entered into the sedimentation tank. Then it is aerobic digestion of remaining sludge in effluent in activated sludge digester or trickling filters. We are observing the two different process. One is aerobic digestion phase and next one is anaerobic digestion. We are observing the aerobic digestion phase. In the right side we are observing aerobic digestion, for example oxidation pond or trickling filters or activated sludge process. In this aerobic digestion, microorganisms are used to produce the gas as well as materials. In this anaerobic digestion also microorganisms produces gas. Finally, the sediment, this material, aerobic or anaerobic digested material is entered into the sedimentation tank. This is nothing but the secondary treatment. After that secondary treatment, that chemical treatment for presence of nitrates and phosphates are removed by using the chemical treatment, and then chlorination leads to the formation of the clean water. Here we are observing the three different types of treatments. One is primary, secondary and tertiary treatment. In this primary treatment we are observing one step, that is raw sewage water is entered through the filters, different sized filters due to the grading. After that, entering through the filters, the filtered water is entered into the sedimentation tank. This process is nothing but the primary treatment. In the secondary treatment, we are observing the anaerobic and aerobic digestions. In aerobic digestion, we are liquid digestion is occurs. In anaerobic digestion, solid material is digested. Here we are observing the aerobic digestion. The sedimentation tank material is entered, then this is entered into the whether oxidation pond or pond consisting of microorganisms, oxygen and sunlight. Due to that, total microbial decomposition occurs. This after that, this is entered into the sedimentation tank. In trickling filters, different types of bed is prepared. Rock bed is prepared on the surface. Microorganisms are sprayed. Then on the surface of the bed we are sprinkling the effluent water, liquid water. Then the microorganisms uses organic matter present in the particular water and then purify that water. Then this water is entered into the sedimentation tank. In the activated sludge also we are using the effluent. Effluent is entered into the particular biological reactor. Then this biological reactor digestion, it is entered into the settling tank. Settling tank is used for the settling of the larger particles at the bottom and then collect the effluent into the sedimentation tank. In the left side we are observing the anaerobic microbial digestion is nothing but the gobar gas preparation. The solid materials, for example dung or viscerable waste, these are the solid materials. These solid materials are prepared like a slurry like structures, that is nothing but the semi-solid liquid like materials. These semi-solid materials are present in the water. These materials are digested by using the anaerobic digestion. In this anaerobic digestion we are observing the sludge is mixed with anaerobic microorganisms. These microorganisms digest the particular sludge and produces methane gas, is nothing but the gas used for the household. Then remaining sludge is entered into the remaining effluent or particles are entered into the sedimentation tank. This total process is nothing but the secondary treatment. After that sedimentation tank, this material is entered into the tertiary treatment process. First step in the tertiary treatment process is nitrate removal of nitrates and phosphates. Due to the presence of nitrates and phosphates leads to the development of the algal growth in the water bodies, that nothing but the eutrophication. Eutrophication is nothing but the excess nutrients leads to the development of the microorganisms, is nothing but algal growth. So minimize the eutrophication, we are using chemical treatment for nitrate, phosphates precipitations. After that, excess amount of microorganisms, is there any excess amount of microorganisms are removed by using chlorination process. Then finally we are obtaining clean water.